Today, on Be Something Wonderful, after this, you'll never wait for your desire to manifest ever again. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Big video this morning. This comes from questions that I had in sessions yesterday. Also questions on our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, and also questions on the channel from some subscribers. All of them related around this idea of waiting for your desire to manifest in 3D reality. The idea of checking 3D reality to see if it's manifested yet, right? And what's the difference between waiting and just expecting good to unfold in your life? Right? And then some of you ask, well, Tom, isn't imagining or affirming or lighting up your future slide doing something? You said you don't have to do anything for it. And you said that it's already yours. And so isn't that doing something? Isn't that a condition on manifesting what you want? And then another asked on the Facebook group, I think, if everything is already right now, if there is no past, present, and future, how come I can't manifest it right now, immediately? Why isn't it mine? I want to answer all of this right now, right? We're going to debunk all of those questions right now. Remember that everything is already yours. The kingdom is within you. Everything that could ever be, will be, was, is already yours and is happening right now. That is true, right? But remember, it's not about necessarily putting conditions on it. It's about you choosing, hear this, choosing what part of all that you are do you want to experience next. It's about you know that the kingdom's within you. There's a knowing deep within you that the kingdom's there. It's about having that knowing experientially in 3D reality. And because of our 3D mechanism can only focus and put our attention on less than 0.1% at a time. We can only see that less than 1%, that present slide or that current frame of reality. Then we must choose among all there is, all that we are. It doesn't mean that we don't have it and we are not it. We are all of that. But in order to experience it, requires you to focus on it and by choosing. It's not that there's no conditions. You get to choose. That's all it is. Manifesting, creating your own reality is about choosing. It's not about changing anything. It's not about fixing your self-concept. It's not about fixing yourself. It's not about being deserving. It's none of that. It's about choosing what part of all that is, what part of God that you are, that you want to experience next. And I want to hit this particular question that came up on yesterday's video, which I left a link to. And I had this stick figure talking about why hasn't it manifested yet? I've imagined, I've affirmed, I've done all the right things. Why hasn't it manifested yet? Right? And this subscriber said, well, this video actually upset me at first. This is perfect because this is in line with what I talked about yesterday with the Gospel of Thomas. At first, you'll be disturbed. At first, you're disturbed. That's irritated me. But remember, she goes, it seemed like a very valid question to me. Yes. To me, the small me, the linear me, the horizontal me, the me that can't see that greater reality that exists within me, that can't see the kingdom that's within me, that can't see that I already can be, do, or have anything I want. It's all within me. Yes, you're going to ask that question. That's going to irritate you. Isn't checking 3D the whole point of this? Otherwise, you're just asking me to live in a delusion. Been there, done that. No. Checking 3D is not the whole point of this. The 3D reality is not outside of you. So when you say you're checking 3D, you're implying there's an objective reality outside of you that has a mind of its own, right? That can decide things, that can come and go as it wish. You decide on it. You are reality. So what's the delusion? The delusion is trying to see something, trying to experience something that you're not being. Hear this. That's the delusion. You're delusional if you think that you, without being conscious of being that reality, without being conscious of already being that person, without being conscious of already having or doing or being that you want to be, that you can see it. That's delusional. And so at first you'll be disturbed, as the Gospel of Thomas says, because it goes against everything that you've learned, everything that you know, that you feel that you know, right? And then she got it, right? Because remember, the delusion is trying to see something, trying to experience something without first being it. The delusion is, we already have the kingdom. We need to, she realizes this. This is what she writes. We just need to recognize this. This is the real treasure. She watched another video on faith that I had on the channel that kind of rang her bell that she got it. But remember, it was all in that video yesterday. It's all in every video. But it's going to hit you at different points. Maybe it's one other video that it clicks for you. But she got it, that we are the kingdom. We just need to recognize it. This is the real treasure. That's her words. Then you'll be amazed, as the Gospel of Thomas says. Then she's amazed, right? And then she goes on to say, back into her linear self, to her small me, I would like to be able to maintain this state always. But that's putting you back. That's stripping you of your power. Remember, I am is the state. You don't have to maintain it. You don't have to work for it. You don't have to deserve it. You are. I am that's your birthright. That's who you are. You're divine by birthright. You are the state. But again, you are everything. But it's so in order to experience what you want to experience, you've got to choose. How do you choose? By affirming. How do you choose? By lighting up that future slide. How do you choose? By persisting in being that person that already has that. That's how you choose. We're always just choosing among all that is. That's the whole thing about the 3D experience. Knowing ourselves as God, knowing ourselves as creators. That's big today. So let's continue. And remember, this one client yesterday, I'm waiting for a miracle. Well, in other words, I'm waiting for effects. I'm waiting for conditions. I'm waiting for things out there to change. Then I'll believe I'm source and I'm cause. Do you see it? You're source and cause. So you can't wait for that. Right? You are the source. You are the cause. You are reality. It's about choosing. It's not about waiting. Right? Waiting for conditions and effects to change. You are those conditions. You get to decide what those conditions are. You've got to look out at reality as how you would like it to be, period. Right? Waiting is a state of being. Right? Waiting is creating a reality of everything you desire existing in the future. Because you're source. You're cause. You don't wait for those effects and conditions. You create them. Right? You see them. You get to experience them. Waiting is implying that the present moment, the God that you are, I am, is somehow not good enough. It's like saying I am is not good enough. Right? I am. The kingdom is not good enough. All that, having everything that you could possibly ever want, be, do, or have is not good enough for you. That's what you're saying there. Waiting is creating. Remember, you are the miracle. There's nothing to wait for. Waiting versus expecting. This came up because remember, there's a difference. But when you choose what you want to experience and expect that to unfold in 3D reality, is your divine right as a creator. Right? Remember, why is there unfolding? Because you can't see all that is all at once. It would confuse you. You wouldn't be able to do it. We don't have we're in 3D to condition it. We're in 3D to limit it to a certain focus, right? To put our attention on a certain aspect that we choose. But mostly we're walking around unconscious and allowing others to choose for us, allowing that greater subconscious to choose for us, getting pulled by the pendulum, getting pulled by conditions. You get to choose. So waiting comes from lack. It comes from need. It comes from doubt. It comes from needing an outer confirmation that you are all that is, right? It comes from trying to fill a hole or a lack that needs to be fulfilled, healed, or fixed, right? Versus a new reality, a version of yourself to be experienced, versus to experience the fulfillment, not to fulfill it. Right? To experience it. You're not fulfilling anything. You're not healing anything. You're not fixing anything. That's waiting. That's conditional. You need to have, and with the conditions, you need to have patience. right? When I'm improved, when I'm better, when I'm deserving, when I finally get this down, when I get good at creating, when I read all the books, when I see all the channels, when I finally get there, I'll have what I want. Versus expecting comes from love. It comes from choosing what part of all that is that you want to experience. It comes from knowing that inner conviction, not an outer confirmation, but an inner conviction. Do you see it? You don't need the outer confirmation for reality. You have the inner conviction, which is reality, the only reality, right? And it's a new reality, enverging yourself to be experienced in time. It's unconditional. You're patient because patience isn't required, right? That's what Scripture says. Love is patient. Yes, you're patient because God's patient because patience isn't required. It's all that is. Do you see the difference here? So let's hit it. I'm expecting miracles. Well, every time you imagine, so what's the difference? I'm waiting for miracles versus I'm expecting miracles. That's you as a creator. That's you knowing that you are all that is. That miracles are all that happen. It's just always the unseen becoming seen. That's a miracle. That's every time you imagine, every time you see, perceive, and assume. Every time you imagine yourself, others, and conditions as you would like them to be. Hear this. This is you expecting miracles. Every time you imagine yourself and others and conditions as you would like them to be, not as they appear to be, you are performing a miracle. You are expecting miracles because you're performing miracles. You're seeing, perceiving, and assuming reality, others, and conditions as you would like them to be. That's a miracle. You're not judging according to appearance, but you're judging with righteous judgment, as reality, as the creator, as divinity, as all there is. There's only one moment in time, and that's right now. There's only fulfillment, and that's right now. There's only I am, and that's the only reality. There's only God, and God is always now. It's all happening now. And so when you expect miracles, that's not expecting something in the future. You're expecting the now moment to unfold and show you the miracles that you are. You're choosing among all that is. In time, you're experiencing it. Because time really is just that unfolding, right? It's an unfolding of all that, what portion of all that is that you want to focus on now. And we call that time. The frame that you were focused on goes into what you call the past, but it's not the past. It's right available to you right now. And then you're in the current frame, and then you have a future frame. But they're all happening right now, and you're choosing by what you're assuming, what you're believing, right? What you're expecting to see what part of reality you'll see now. I'm expecting miracles is totally different. You're expecting it as source, as one with that reality. So whenever you imagine things as they ought to be, rather than as they seem to be, is the moment. Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard was talking about some writings of Blake that he often quotes in Scripture. And Blake was talking about the moment, right? But what is the moment? It's really the miracle. It's the now moment where you can only find God right now in this moment. You can only find your desires right now in this moment. They don't exist in the past and they don't exist in the future. Everything's right now. What does that look like practically? I think one of you asked on one of the videos. Tom, you say assume it. You say imagine it. You say affirm it. You say announce it. But what does that look like? I get it, guys. That's that question. That's that 3D linear question. What does it look like? I get it. I understand the question. But every time you say, what does it look like practically, you're stripping yourself of your power. You are what it looks like. You are reality. You announce it, whether you write it, whether you say it, whether you imagine a scene, whether you see it visually, whether you hear it, doesn't matter. Your reality, you get to choose. But it's a knowing. So it's not what does it look like practically. That's what it looks like. Practically, imaginatively, spiritually, it's done. Your reality, that's what it looks like. Do you see it? It looks like that imaginatively. It looks like that practically. That's what it is. There is no such thing as practically. That only exists in your linear, limited, small me thinking. What do I do practically every day to make this happen? It's already happened. You're choosing in every moment, right? You are the creative act. You are reality. You are the miracle. You are everything. Remember what Seth with Jane Roberts says. You sit within the miracle of yourselves and ask for signs. It's your inner eyes that I would open. You don't have to wait for miracles. That's what Seth was saying. You are the miracle. And you don't need to wait for signs. You are the sign. Any sign or synchronicities you see is just the unseen becoming seen. It means that you are in that new version of yourself. You are that person that you want to be. You're recognizing that. So it's not what it looks like practically. It's not what does that look like? What does affirming look like? It can be anything you want it to be. It's not the process that creates. It's your inner conviction. It's that I amness. It's that recognition that this client had, right? Not a client, the subscriber had on the channel. We're upset. We want to know what practically how to do it. What does it really look like? What does this look like? But then they got it. It felt like a valid question until she had this sense, wait a minute, that's what faith is. The kingdom's within me. Everything's already mine. That's the real treasure. That's all I need. Make that enough, and it will be everything. Make your inner reality the assumption and conviction that you're already that person you want to be, that you already have it. Make that absolute conviction. See yourself, see others, see conditions as you would like to see it. Make that everything. Make it enough, and it will be everything, and it will be. Because 3D reality must yield to your conviction. It must yield to who you're being. After this, you'll never wait for your desires to manifest ever again, because waiting is creating. Waiting doesn't exist. There's no future. You have no future. It's all happening now. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for joining our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. That's the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, where you can share insight and guidance and ask for insight and guidance for others. Thank you for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and joining our membership channel. New videos coming soon on that channel, as well as a live stream in the future. You can join us. There's a link below to join the membership channel for more content. Creators, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin with Be Something Wonderful here in Las Vegas. See you soon.